So the biggest struggle you may have, the biggest struggle that I have is knowing what to. Hey everybody, welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello. Today we're going to be talking about, are you optimizing your time? Where are you spending your time? Are you wasting time doing things that you shouldn't be doing? And how do you even know how to track what exactly you're doing? So the first step that I recommend is to use an electronic calendar. I personally use Google Calendar. That is my go-to for everything. The iPhone calendar, in my opinion, is trash. The Apple Calendar, whatever you want to call it, at least when I used to use it a couple of years ago, when I made the switch to Google Calendar, it was very seamless. I can pull it up on my desktop. There's a really clean app. It automatically fills in things. Like if I type in gym, it'll show a nice little gym cartoon image thing automatically. If I type in flight at this time, it'll put a little plane in the airport, and you can update the settings to remove or add that if you're interested. But this personally helps you track everything that you're doing. It helps me with everything. And the quote that I've heard is that if it's not on your calendar, it does not exist. And you got to live by your calendar. You either live by it or you die by it. And it was crazy to me when I got into real estate and they were pushing the fact that you need to use calendars on people. And some people use paper planners or paper calendars. And I was all about electronic. I was already scheduling and using booking links to have people schedule time on my calendar in real time without me having to look at it or really do anything other than check the calendar, make sure I'm making it to various appointments that people schedule. And it just blew my mind every time I met people that had absolutely no calendar, no planner, and it's no surprise that they didn't really last very long in the industry. And a lot of the people that got their license when I got mine are no longer in the business. They're no longer doing deals. They didn't have the systems in place and the motivation, and so they weren't able to actually stay on top of what it is that they were doing and to adequately track the activities that they were working on. And so the benefits of calendars are that you're able to do so many things. You can track things, you get reminders and alerts, you can share invites, meeting invites with other people, and it's a lot more smooth and easy to use than like a Microsoft Outlook or something. I mean, I've worked in corporate before. I've been on the meetings where everyone accepts and things like that. I believe that this integrates with that. So if I were to send an email with someone who has Outlook, that's their own thing, their own calendar, that's on their side. If they send me something from their Outlook, it'll pop up in my Google Calendar and it'll integrate seamlessly. And again, you can do so many things. If you have an address in there, like say, birthday party at this address or coffee with so-and-so at 123 Coffee Street, I guess that's not really the address that you would see, but you can click into it from the Google Calendar app, which opens up Google Maps, and it's super seamless. I love all the Google products I use. I mean, that's why they're at the top of their game, because everything they put out, for the most part, everything that I've used and seen that has stuck, other than Google Hangouts or Google Plus, whatever their social media attempt was that didn't do that great, that's really the only thing that I personally tried using that never really worked well. But everything else, Sheets, Gmail, Calendar, Maps, highly recommend it. And the cool thing with this is that you can integrate it with software. So mine is integrated with Calendly, like I've talked about before, my booking links. I send out links to everyone, whether it's a podcast interview, it's a coffee meeting, if I'm going to meet one-on-one via Zoom or do a phone call, I've got separate links for that. And based on that, it integrates with Zoom, adds the Zoom link to the calendar, and sends the invite to whoever requested that meeting. And it checks against my calendar in real time as well. This is another cool part that you can't do with a paper planner. If I was trying to schedule something with you and you wanted to meet with me next week and I only used a paper planner, I'd have to look into my planner, see what I'm doing next week, see if you're available on Tuesday. No, you're not. How about Wednesday? 2 o'clock? No. How about 3 o'clock, right? It's very annoying. Whereas if you just embrace the technology that does all this for you, it's all done seamlessly. Pick a day and time that's available. My calendar is updated at all times. And here's an example. Let's say you want to meet with me next Tuesday, sometime between 2 to 5 p.m., but I'm actually busy. I've got a meeting blocked off at that time. You would not be able to book me if I sent you my booking link. But let's say that meeting got canceled and I deleted it, and then I sent you the booking link like 2 seconds later. Within seconds of me deleting it on my Google Calendar, that space would show to be free for you to book me on Calendly, and you'd be able to book me during that time, which is pretty incredible. And again, I don't know why anyone actually uses paper planners anymore, to be quite honest. So I update my calendar with everything in case this helps you. If you're not really using a calendar, or you created one and you still don't really use it and you're not sure what to put in there, I put everything in there that's an appointment of some sort. And really everything you do should be an appointment. Like you have an appointment to lead generate, you have an appointment to get a massage, you have an appointment to call a client at a certain time. Everything really is an appointment. And if you don't have appointments and you're not living by calendar, you're just reacting to things and fires as they come up. And a lot of times those fires are make believe. They're not even important. They're not a priority because you're just getting sucked into the whirlwind of other people's priorities, really. And so I update my calendar with massages, haircuts, Zoom calls, podcast interviews, conferences, even vacations. As soon as I know someone's coming to visit me in town, or I'm going to be out of town for a certain block of days, I block it off on the calendar. And this prevents anyone who I send my Calendly links out from booking over time that I know I'm already going to be unavailable. And you want to make sure that you do this as well so that you don't get booked, because it's a little more awkward to be like, oh man, I was going to do something Saturday. Someone just booked me to talk at 1 o'clock. I have to awkwardly cancel and ask them to reschedule, versus if you just block it off and when you send that link to them, they won't even have the option to book on Saturday. They'll have to book your next time. Another exercise you can do is like a time study exercise. This is something that I did when I used to work at a Senna House Buyers house buying company in Houston. Shout out to Matt Trenchard, one of my mentors and the owner there at the moment. It was Matt Trenchard, Sam Craven. They were the owners. Sam has since sold his share off and he's killing it with a European motor car garage. So I always like to give credit and shout outs to people who have had an impact positively on me and that still have some sort of influence, we've done some business together. We've been in touch and it's just been kind of neat. So when I worked at this house buying company, they asked me to do a time study just to track what I was doing. How am I spending my time? And if you're not sure how you spend your time, if you're not really using a calendar that you can reflect on and literally see what things are that you did, you can write down and document everything you do for at least a day or two straight. It is a little time consuming. It is a lot of work in a way where you have to literally switch and you've got a journal, pen and paper. You're writing down 50 different things that you did. I went to the gym. I went downstairs and saw the investor's Ferrari who drove up. I just literally wasted time. And this will be very eye-opening for you. And so I did everything. I would literally track and be like 2 p.m. did this. Okay, at 3, I left early because I had to take the dog out, And when you categorize it into various buckets, you can see what was marketing, what was outreach, what was social media engagement, and a bucket time wasting. How much time are you wasting? When you do this, again, it's very eye-opening. You'll probably be amazed at how much time you're wasting that you thought you were being productive in. So the biggest struggle you may have, the biggest struggle that I have, is knowing what to spend my time on. The main downside of organic content and the random calls to action that I've been doing, like, hey, if you want to work with me, reach out, shoot me a DM, text me, those types of things. It's great. But right now I don't have any predictability, which is the main thing that's frustrating. Like I literally don't know. I can increase my actions to hit my goals, but I just don't have that predictability there because I've been focusing all on the organic side. And fortunately, I guess after doing this for a few years, I have enough leads where I've got some stuff going on. I've got opportunities. If you fall off here, I know more are on the way. And I'm still not where I want to be though, versus my friends who do investing and all that, real estate investing, they have paid marketing. They know their numbers. They're more dialed in than I am. So that's my only frustration, because they may send 5,000 letters out. They know they're going to get 500 phone calls from homeowners, which will lead to 50 appointments, which leads to 5 deals every month. Like whatever their numbers are, they know how to back into it based on their data, based on their paid marketing. Whereas here it's like, do I post 3 times more on social media? Do I do 2 more podcasts? Do I go to 3 networking events? Like I really don't know what those levers are. And when people reach out to me, I guess I just need to do a better job of asking, hey, what made you reach out? Was it a recent post I did? Did you listen to a podcast episode? Have you known what I did for a while, but you just weren't ready, right? Especially with real estate, people don't just happen to buy or sell a house like randomly just because you said you do it. Typically there's like a nurturing period and maybe they don't need to buy for a couple of years. Maybe they have a house and they're not going to sell for a couple of years. So you just have to maintain top of mind awareness so that whenever they're ready for that thing that you offer, they think of you first instead of going to someone else and then being like, oh, I would have reached out to you if I remembered, but I forgot. So what is it that you do and how do you track your calendar? Do you do any of this stuff? Do you not? Did you find this helpful? Are you going to implement this? Have you tried to implement this? I would love to hear. If you are watching this on YouTube, drop it in the comments below. If you're listening on podcasts, feel free to go over to YouTube and drop a comment or DM me. And last but not least, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, engagement stuff that I always forget to ask you to do, because it really does help show this message to other people that will benefit from this as well. And my last thing is, if you are a real estate agent and you are in the audience and you're interested in coaching, check out chrisbello.com/coaching. Enrollment is open. I am looking for a few students to jump in on a mastermind. If you're interested in something like a 6-month mastermind or even a one-time paid live training coaching, I'm going to be doing a free initial group training to kind of show my systems, what works for me, how my business is almost on autopilot, and that'll give away a ton of value. And then I'll kind of make the informative pitch at the end if you are interested in jumping in for the paid option as well. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to catching you in the next episode, and we'll talk soon.